The life of Pierce Brosnan did not begin with fame, wealth, or the glamour that people often associate with Hollywood stars. Instead, his early years were filled with loneliness, uncertainty, and deep emotional challenges. Pierce was born on May 16, 1953, in the small Irish town of Drogheda, located in Ireland. His childhood was shaped by separation and absence from the very beginning. His father left the family when Pierce was still a baby, leaving his mother to raise him alone. Life was difficult, and his mother eventually had to make a painful decision. When Pierce was just 4 years old, she moved to London in search of work, so she could support them both. Because of this, young Pierce was left behind in Ireland to be raised by relatives. For many years, Pierce lived with different family members. He was passed from one home to another, which made his childhood feel unstable. Moving from house to house meant he had to constantly adjust to new environments, new rules, and sometimes new schools. As a result, Pierce learned how to observe people carefully and keep his feelings to himself. He later described those years as lonely, but they also helped him grow strong and independent. When he was 11 years old, his life changed again. His mother had remarried and invited him to join her in Britain. Pierce finally reunited with her and moved to live with her and his new stepfather. Even though the reunion brought happiness, it also meant adjusting to a completely new life in a new country. During this time, Pierce was still searching for a sense of belonging. Like many teenagers, he was unsure about his future. But one day, a simple trip to the cinema changed everything. Watching a James Bond film for the first time opened his eyes to the world of movies and storytelling. That moment planted a dream in his mind that would one day shape the course of his life. The movie that inspired Pierce Brosnan during his teenage years was Goldfinger, starring the legendary Sean Connery as the famous secret agent James Bond. Sitting in the dark theater, Pierce watched the confident and fearless character on screen and felt something spark inside him. For the first time, he imagined a life beyond the uncertainty of his childhood. James Bond represented strength, charm, and confidence, qualities Pierce hoped to develop in himself one day. At that moment, he did not know how his future would unfold, but the idea of becoming part of the world of film began to grow in his mind. Before acting became his main focus, Pierce initially explored another creative path. As a young man living in London, he studied commercial illustration and art. He had a natural talent for drawing and design, and for a while, it seemed that his future might be in the visual arts rather than acting. However, fate had different plans for him. One day, while attending a workshop at a small theater, Pierce discovered the powerful experience of performing on stage. Acting allowed him to express emotions and stories in ways he had never imagined before. It was a turning point that completely changed his life. Determined to follow this new passion, Pierce enrolled at the prestigious Drama Centre London to study acting professionally. The training there was intense and demanding. Students were expected to work extremely hard, pushing themselves emotionally and physically to become better performers. The instructors were strict, and many students struggled with the pressure. But Pierce welcomed the challenge. The discipline of the program helped him grow both as an actor and as a person. It also taught him how to face rejection and setbacks, skills that would prove valuable in the competitive entertainment industry. During those early years, Pierce worked tirelessly to build his career. He performed in small theater productions and took minor roles in television and films. These early jobs did not bring fame or fortune, but they helped him gain experience and confidence. Slowly but surely, his dedication began to open new doors. The big opportunity that changed Pierce Brosnan's career arrived in the early 1980s when he auditioned for a television series called Remington Steele. At first, Pierce was only hoping to land a small supporting role on the show. However, during the audition process, the producers noticed something special about him. His charm, confidence, and natural screen presence stood out immediately. Instead of giving him a minor role, they decided to cast him as the lead character. This unexpected decision turned out to be the beginning of a major breakthrough in his career. When the show premiered, it quickly became popular with audiences. Pierce played a mysterious and charming detective who pretended to be someone else in order to help solve crimes. The character was witty, stylish, and charismatic, qualities that viewers loved. The success of the show made Pierce an international star almost overnight. Suddenly, He was recognized not only in the United States, but also in many other countries around the world. His performance also caught the attention of important figures in the film industry. Among those who noticed him was the famous James Bond producer Albert R. Broccoli, who began to see Pierce as a possible future actor for the iconic spy role. The idea seemed almost like destiny. After all, years earlier, Pierce had sat in a cinema watching Goldfinger and dreaming about the world of James Bond. Now he was being considered to join that very franchise. However, life does not always follow a simple path. When the opportunity to become James Bond first appeared in the 1980s, Pierce was unable to accept it because of contract obligations with Remington Steele. The situation was frustrating and disappointing. Many fans believed he would have been perfect for the role, but circumstances forced him to wait. Even though this moment seemed like a setback, it did not end his journey. Instead, it was only a delay. Years later, fate would give him another chance to step into a famous tuxedo of the world's most famous spy. While Pierce Brosnan's professional life was growing stronger, his personal life was also filled with love and family. In 1980, he married Australian actress Cassandra Harris. Their relationship was built on deep affection, shared dreams, and mutual support. Cassandra already had 2 children from a previous relationship, and Pierce chose to adopt them, embracing them as his own. Later, the couple welcomed a son together, creating a warm and loving family. For Pierce, family life brought stability and happiness that he had long desired after his difficult childhood. However, tragedy soon entered their lives in a way no one could have expected. In 1987, Cassandra was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, a devastating illness that would change everything. The diagnosis came while Pierce was working abroad, and the news shocked him deeply. From that moment forward, their lives became a constant battle against the disease. Cassandra went through multiple treatments, including surgeries and chemotherapy, each one bringing both hope and pain. Pierce remained by her side throughout the long struggle, supporting her in every possible way. He later described those years as some of the most challenging moments of his life. Watching someone you love suffer from a serious illness is incredibly difficult, and Pierce often felt helpless. Despite his success and fame, there was nothing he could do to stop the disease. All he could offer was love, presence, and strength. For 4 years, the family fought together against the illness, hoping that Cassandra might recover. Sadly, in December 1991, Cassandra Harris passed away at the age of 43. Her death left Pierce heartbroken and devastated. Suddenly, he found himself a widowed father raising 3 children while trying to cope with overwhelming grief. The loss deeply affected him and left emotional scars that would stay with him for many years. After the painful loss of Cassandra Harris, Pierce Brosnan slowly returned to his work as an actor. It was not easy to focus on his career while carrying such deep grief, but acting once again became a way for him to move forward. In 1994, fate finally gave him the opportunity that had once slipped away. Pierce was officially chosen to play James Bond, becoming the new face of the legendary spy. His first film in a role was GoldenEye, released in 1995. The movie was a massive success and helped revive the James Bond franchise for a new generation of audiences. Pierce brought a unique combination of elegance, humor, and intensity to the character. His version of Bond was both charming and dangerous, modern yet respectful of the character's classic style. Audiences around the world embraced him in the role. Following the success of GoldenEye, he continued playing Bond in several more films, including Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. These films earned enormous success at the global box office, bringing in billions of dollars and strengthening the Bond franchise once again. Pierce became one of the most recognizable actors in the world, admired for his sophisticated style and confident performances. To many fans, he represented the perfect blend of classic and modern James Bond. Yet behind the fame and glamorous premieres, Pierce was still carrying the pain of his past losses. The spotlight of Hollywood could not erase the memories of the loved ones he had lost. Even while achieving the greatest success of his career, he remained a devoted father and continued to focus on raising his children and protecting his family. Years after the death of Cassandra Harris, another heartbreaking tragedy struck Pierce Brosnan's life. In 2013, his adopted daughter Charlotte Brosnan passed away after battling ovarian cancer, the same disease that had taken her mother more than 2 decades earlier. The news was devastating for the entire family. Charlotte was only 41 years old when she died, almost the same age her mother had been when she passed away. For Pierce, this loss reopened emotional wounds that had never fully healed. Losing a child is one of the most painful experiences any parent can face, and the fact that the same disease had claimed both his wife and daughter made the tragedy even more difficult to process. Pierce later spoke publicly about the heartbreak of holding both Cassandra's and Charlotte's hands during their final moments. He described the experience as a dark and repeating nightmare. Despite the deep sorrow, Pierce tried to honor their memory by supporting cancer awareness efforts. He became an advocate for raising awareness about ovarian cancer and the importance of early detection and research. By sharing his story, he hoped to help others understand the seriousness of the disease and encourage more support for medical research. Even through immense grief, Pierce continued to focus on the values that had helped him survive difficult times throughout his life: family, resilience, and faith. These values gave him the strength to keep moving forward and to find meaning in honoring the people he loved. In the midst of grief and personal challenges, life eventually brought new happiness to Pierce Brosnan. In 1994, he met journalist and television host Keely Shea Smith. Their connection was immediate, and their relationship quickly grew strong. Keely became an important source of comfort and support in Pierce's life during a time when he was still healing from past losses. The couple eventually married in 2001 and built a life together filled with love and mutual respect. Their marriage has often been described as one of the most stable and supportive relationships in Hollywood. Over the years, Pierce has spoken openly about how grateful he is for Keely's presence in his life. She has stood beside him through professional challenges, family struggles, and the lingering sadness of past tragedies. Together, they have raised a blended family and maintained a close bond with their children. Pierce has also publicly defended his family against criticism and media scrutiny, showing his strong loyalty to those he loves. In an industry where relationships often face intense pressure, his long-lasting marriage with Keely stands as an example of commitment and trust. Their partnership has helped him maintain balance between his public career and his private life. For Pierce, Keely represents more than just a partner. She represents hope, renewal, and the possibility of happiness even after experiencing deep sorrow. Their story shows that while life can bring painful losses, it can also offer new beginnings and opportunities to rebuild. Today, Pierce Brosnan is not only known for his film career, but also for the way he has used his experiences to support important causes. Over the years, he has become an advocate for cancer awareness, environmental protection, and humanitarian work. He has also supported global efforts through organizations like UNICEF, using his voice to draw attention to important issues affecting people around the world. Pierce often speaks about the role that faith has played in helping him survive the darkest moments of his life. For him, faith is not only about religion, but also about believing in resilience, love, and the strength of family. It is the belief that even after tragedy, life can continue with purpose and meaning. Looking back on his journey, Pierce's life story is far more complex than the glamorous image of the characters he has played on screen. The man who portrayed one of cinema's most confident heroes has faced personal battles far more difficult than any fictional villain. Through loss, grief, and heartbreak, he has continued to move forward while honoring the memory of the people he loved. His story is ultimately one of resilience. It shows that strength does not always mean avoiding pain, but learning how to live with it and continue loving deeply. By speaking openly about his experiences, Pierce Brosnan has inspired many people who are facing their own struggles. In doing so, he has created a legacy that goes far beyond Hollywood fame. After finishing his time as James Bond in Die Another Day in 2002, Pierce Brosnan entered a new phase in his career. Many actors struggle after leaving an iconic role, but Pierce approached this period as an opportunity rather than a setback. Instead of trying to repeat the same type of character, he chose a wide variety of projects that allowed him to explore different sides of his talent. He appeared in action films, romantic comedies, dramas, and even musicals. One of his most surprising and beloved roles came in the musical film Mamma Mia, where he starred alongside Meryl Streep. The film was based on the music of the famous Swedish pop group ABBA, and it became a worldwide hit. Although Pierce was not known as a singer before the movie, audiences appreciated his charm and willingness to try something new. This willingness to take risks helped keep his career fresh and interesting. Pierce also worked behind the camera as producer, helping bring several projects to life through his production company. Over time, he became known not only as a movie star, but also as a creative storyteller who cared deeply about the projects he worked on. His choices showed that he was not afraid to step outside the shadow of James Bond and build a career based on passion rather than expectations. Even as he explored new professional opportunities, Pierce remained committed to his family life. He often spoke about how important it was for him to stay connected to his loved ones despite the demands of Hollywood. Fame and success never replaced the values he learned during his difficult childhood. Those early experiences taught him the importance of loyalty, kindness, and staying grounded as the years passed. Pierce also became more reflective about his life journey. Interviews often showed a thoughtful and humble side of the actor. He openly discussed the lessons he had learned from loss, success, and personal growth. By sharing these reflections, he revealed a man who had evolved far beyond the confident spy he once played on screen. His life after James Bond became not just about continuing career, but about living with purpose and gratitude for every moment he had. Throughout his life, Pierce Brosnan has used his public platform to support causes that are deeply meaningful to him. After experiencing the devastating effects of ovarian cancer within his own family, he became a passionate advocate for cancer awareness and research. Losing both his wife, Cassandra Harris, and his daughter, Charlotte Brosnan, to the same illness left a lasting impact on him. Instead of remaining silent about the pain, Pierce chose to speak openly about the disease and the importance of early detection and medical support. By sharing his personal experiences, he hoped to encourage others to seek medical advice, support research efforts, and help families facing similar struggles. His activism extends beyond health issues. Pierce has long been a strong supporter of environmental protection. He has spoken out about the importance of protecting oceans, wildlife, and natural ecosystems. The beauty of nature has always been important to him, and he believes that future generations deserve to inherit a healthy planet. Over the years, he has worked with various environmental organizations and participated in campaigns designed to raise awareness about climate change and conservation. In addition to these causes, Pierce has also supported humanitarian efforts around the world. His involvement with organizations like UNICEF reflects his commitment to helping vulnerable communities, especially children in need. Through charity events, public speeches, and awareness campaigns, he has used his fame to bring attention to issues that might otherwise be ignored. What makes his activism meaningful is the sincerity behind it. Pierce does not treat these causes as simple publicity opportunities. Instead, they are deeply connected to his own life experiences and values. The hardships he has faced have given him a strong sense of empathy for others who are suffering. By turning his personal grief into positive action, he has transformed pain into a force for good. In this way, his legacy extends far beyond the world of entertainment and into the lives of people who may never meet him but benefit from the awareness he helps create. Looking back at the journey of Pierce Brosnan, it becomes clear that his life story is about much more than Hollywood success. While millions of fans recognize him as the stylish and fearless James Bond, the real story behind the actor is far deeper and more emotional. His path has been shaped by moments of joy, love, heartbreak, and resilience. From a childhood marked by separation and loneliness to a career filled with international fame, Pierce's experiences have taught him lessons that many people can relate to. The tragedies he faced, losing his beloved wife Cassandra Harris and later his daughter Charlotte Brosnan to the same illness, could have left him bitter or defeated. Instead, he chose to continue moving forward while honoring their memories. Through his advocacy work and his openness about grief, he has shown that strength does not mean ignoring pain. True strength means learning how to carry that pain